And welcome, everyone, to another edition of Masonic Light Talk. I'm your host, Past Master Funderburk with Bivouac Lodge number 503. And we are hailing from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And we are a part of the 30th District, where our worshipful master is Brother Keyshawn L. Allen. Our district deputy is Terry Andrews. And our leader of the North Carolina jurisdiction is our most worshipful Grand Master, Daniel D.T. Thompson. As you know, the true purpose of Masonic Light Talk is to give the craft as well as our listening audience a chance to see the individuals behind the various titles within Masonry. And it's also to allow everyone to know that those who are holding these titles and positions are just regular people. They're living and experiencing life just like everyone else. They experience the good, they experience the bad, and of course, sometimes the ugly. And we also want to make it clear, people like to ask the question, what are Masons all about? And I just love to reiterate and share that we are here to make good men better. We're not here to make a bad man good. We're not here to make a worse man better. We are here to make good men better men in their all-around lives. That's what Masonry is all about. And for those of you who are just beginning to follow us, we have been trying to include all the houses within the North Carolina jurisdiction. So please let us know if there is a house or a certain individual you would like to see on this particular broadcast, and we will do our best to make that happen for you. And for this episode, we're going to take a few minutes to enlighten many of you to those who are true knowledge seekers on the existence of the Phylaxis Society, as well as its importance to those who call ourselves Prince Hall Masons. And of course, to help us do that, we have to have with us a very special guest. And that special guest this evening is none other than the Grand Historian Emeritus, Brother Walter Easley. Grand, I want to say welcome to the show. I want to say thank you for taking the time out to grace us with your presence and have a little talk with us this evening. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing pretty good now that I've had my shots.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, how is that going? Everyone is so ready for COVID to be over and hopefully try and get us back as close to back to a normal life as we can. How has that been working out for you and your family?
Well, it's just my wife and I. I have one daughter here in Charlotte, my oldest daughter. But I'll tell you, we've not even allowed her in the house until I had my shots. So
well, you have to protect yourself.
It goes to work.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
She hasn't been vaccinated yet, but thankfully I've been vaccinated. My wife just got her first shot yesterday, so we're on the road back to normalcy. Hopefully.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Whatever the new normal is going to be.
Yes, sir. That's right. And of course, this is all a part of God's plan. We know he makes no mistakes, and we have to continue to trust in him as we continue to lead our lives and do the best that we can each and every day. And
all things work for good.
Yes, they do. And Grant, of course, before we get into the topics of everything that we're going to discuss, you've already started talking a little bit about your family. You are married, have a wife and a daughter. Please share some other things about yourself with us. Your education, how long you've been married, any military service, anything that you would love to just share with us.
Oh, okay. I was born in West Bygod, Virginia.
Okay.
I come from a long line of coal miners and moonshiners. but fortunately, I was able, some of my family left before we moved to Buffalo, New York.
Yes, sir.
They worked in the steel mills there and in the auto plants. But of course, we improved our standard of living because West Virginia is still one of the poorest states in the Union.
Okay.
I went to school there up until high school. As soon as I graduated high school, I went in the military at 17 years old.
Yes, sir.
Stayed for 37 years.
Wow, 37 years. Well, Grant, I want to say thank you right now. Thank you for your service for 37 years. What branch did you enter?
U.S. Army.
U.S. Army. All
and
right.
I ended up in U.S. Army Special Forces.
Okay.
Well, I stayed on jump status for 33 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And that's why I have 2 hip replacements. I just had my first hip revision in November of 2019.
Yes, sir.
Both shoulders have been done, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting the knees done while I can still get around.
I understand. Well, God bless you.
I've been married. This is my second marriage, and this one is over 20 years.
Congratulations.
But I was married the first time for 31 years.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on that one as well.
And, oftentimes my troops would say to me, sir, it's cheaper to keep her. And I would say to them, you've never seen that commercial, have you? The one about MasterCard?
I'm not sure, Grant. I've seen a few. Enlighten me.
Well, it says at the end that peace of mind, priceless.
That is true. You're right about that.
So money should never be the driving factor behind you leaving a marriage.
Yes, sir.
So
good deal. Good deal. Well, thank you for that information, and hopefully our listeners will take that piece of information to heart.
I've got 3 daughters and 2 bonus sons.
Beautiful.
They're all 40 or older.
Okay. Good deal.
My wife, Gwendolyn, it's just been the 2 of us now, and it looks like it's going to continue to be the 2 of us because we're not planning to have any more.
Yes, sir.
And then that's the long and the short of it. I became a Mason in 1988, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was stationed at the time. I was a captain back then.
Now, what brought you to Masonry back then?
Pardon?
What is it that led you to Masonry during that time?
Guys in the unit were Masons. I was aware of Masonry. My father having been a founding member of a lodge in Buffalo, New York. But if I was going to use him as an example, that was not a path I wanted to take.
Okay.
But as fortune would have it, I met some really good brothers, and they said, well, look, you said your dad was a Mason. Why did you never become a Mason?
Right.
I said, well, my dad was not the best representative for the organization.
Yes, sir.
But I got to know these brothers pretty well, and we talked. You know what we always say, to be one, ask one.
That is correct.
And
yes,
I
sir.
asked. And consequently, I was raised in Sparkling Diamond Lodge in 1988. And that's where it began. I just never stopped.
Are you still a member of Sparkling Diamond? Is that where you're hailing from now?
No, I'm now a member of and a past master of Heart to Heart Lodge number 597.
Okay.
I went there in 2009. But like I said, I was still in the military when I came to Sparkling Diamond. So I left for 15 years.
Okay.
And came back.
Yes, sir.
When I left Sparkling Diamond, I had been junior warden already. When I went to Heart, I went from junior warden to worshipful master within the next 2 years. And that's where I've been ever since. I'm a past excellent high priest in Excelsior chapter number 44, past eminent commander of Charlotte Alpha Commandery number 1, and a past thrice illustrious master of High Armor Biff number 3.
All
past
right.
patron of Venus chapter number 143 of the Eastern Stars, and something I'll talk about with Phylaxis. I'm a past grand sovereign of the Cairo fraternity.
Beautiful.
That's my Masonic journey in a nutshell.
Well, Grand, you have held some serious positions, and we know that you're the Grand Historian now. And we're just going to move right on ahead to the topic of the show. And I want to thank you for that information and background on you. Thank you so much. Grand, the topic of the show, of course, is the Phylaxis Society. And I know we have a lot of people out there that may not know what it is, who are members of the craft, as well as our listening audience. What can you tell us about the Phylaxis Society, as in what is it in general, and why is it, in your opinion, that maybe there are a lot of brothers who are probably unaware of it? And of course, without giving away anything that you can't give away in answering that question?
Well, there's nothing that we can't give away. Okay? The secrets of Freemasonry, we don't give those away because they are lodged here.
That's right. That's right.
And you only give them a certain way when they're lodged here.
That's right.
And that's mouth to ear. Okay?
That's right.
Low breath.
Yes, sir.
But Phylaxis Society is an internationally recognized organization of Master Masons.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an issue with the router and echo device, so try restarting them. Unplug both of them.
That was one of my devices going off there.
No problem.
An international organization of Master Masons, of Freemasons, who are primarily focused on the study of Prince Hall Masonry.
Okay.
Now, the reason many of our brothers aren't aware of it, and that's got to fall on us as members of Phylaxis Society, of not doing a better job of getting out and explaining to brothers why they should be members of our organization. I speak about Phylaxis at pretty much every lodge meeting I attend, if it's not my own lodge, because they've heard it so much. They said, "Would you please, Past Master Easley, just okay, we're going to be members." Okay. But that's our fault. And some brothers come into Masonry for reasons other than finding out truly from whence they came.
Right.
As we well know.
Yes, sir.
So we are a slice of the macrocosm.
Okay.
And we have represented within Masonry all the things that you have represented in the church or any other organization. We need to keep our focus on making good men better.
Yes, sir.
Because you can't take a bad man and turn him into a good man, but you can take a good man and make him better.
Yes, you can.
And that's what Phylaxis focuses on, improving ourselves in Masonry, and at the same time, learning more as much as we can about from whence we came as African American Masons.
Yes, sir.
Because our Masonic experience is different, just as our lives have been different on these shores.
Yes, sir.
Our Masonic experience has been different than that of mainstream Masons. And so our focus is to teach brothers and get them into researching and not just accepting for fact everything that you read on Google.
That's right. That's right.
Okay? Because Google ain't always right.
You're right about that. Somebody had to put that information on Google, didn't they, Grant?
That's right. And if they had it wrong, then guess what? You've got it wrong.
That's right. You're exactly right about that. Okay. Grant, I have a question on your logo. I was looking up some information and I saw that the logo that the Phylaxis Society using it's interesting as well as very distinguished. Can you kind of tell me what the logo means? And I kind of printed out just a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can see. I don't have it in color, but I don't know if you can see that or not. But I just kind of wanted you to kind of explain a little bit, if you don't mind.
Well, the square and compass, obviously, we know what it means. It stands for Masonry. That is a book of knowledge. And you know from whence our knowledge comes, right?
Yes, sir.
The lamp is the lamp of learning. That is an ancient symbol that came along long before even we talk about the beginnings of organized Masonry. So it's the lamp of learning, the square and compass, representing our craft, and the book, the law, the volume of sacred law, and the number 15. What do you think the number 15 represents?
Grant, I don't want to say. I don't want to say, Grant. I'm going to let you tell me. I don't want to say.
It represents those 15 men of color who were made Masons, according to the history that we know so far, on March the 6th. Okay?
Gotcha.
That's what that represents.
Okay, gotcha. Beautiful.
Also supposed to represent the number of members allowed within of Phylaxis chapter.
Oh, so there's only 15 members that are allowed in each chapter?
That was our founder's vision, that
Okay.
there only be 15 members in each chapter. And he gives very sound reasoning for that. And having been a past president of the chapter here in North Carolina, I understand more fully now why.
Gotcha.
He said with more than 15 members, you can't give everybody a fully productive job to do. And when you have too many irons in the fire or too many spoons in making the mix, you end up with a bad mix.
Yes, sir.
He says you end up with dissension, you end up with argument, or you end up with someone feeling that they're being left out.
Got you. Now, Grant, I have a question with the membership. You know how under Prince Hall, you know, we have the Sisters of the Eastern Star as well as the Prince Hall brothers. Within the Phylaxis Society, how is the membership done? Does it also go with the brothers and the sister together, or is it just the Prince Hall Masons alone?
Well, it's not just for Prince Hall Masons alone.
Okay.
It's for any Master Mason in good standing that belongs to a Grand Lodge.
Okay.
That is in amity with the Conference of Grand Masters or the Grand Lodge of England.
Gotcha.
So that means any Master Mason.
Any Master Mason who's in good standing.
That's correct. Can be a member.
Gotcha.
Now, as for the sisters, we have the Phyllis chapter, which is an auxiliary to the Phylaxis Society, just as the Eastern Stars are an auxiliary to Masons.
Okay.
And the Phylaxis, the Phyllis chapter is here in North Carolina, it's the Minor Perkins.
Okay.
Minor Perkins.
Minor Perkins. Gotcha.
And I have a point of contact for you. It's the past president of the chapter here in North Carolina. And that would be Sister Florence Shepherd. And her email address is flojoe, FLOJOE, 38 at att.net.
Okay.
She's
She's had that address a long time.
I worked with her for a long time because I'm the most recent past president of the Herbert Bell Shaw chapter.
Got you. Now, with your chapters, do you have a structure still kind of like the Masonics with the Grand Lodge? How is it structured? Does it answer to another body that operates as a Grand Lodge, or does it operate independently of any other Masonic authority?
Independent of any other Masonic authority. We are a research organization.
Okay.
That is our focus. It is not our business to interfere in the business of any Grand Lodge, to make any pronouncements or anything pertaining to any of the Grand Lodges. Yet we have at our conventions, many Grand Masters attend.
Okay.
Many Grand Masters attend. And one of the main features of our annual convention is on the last day, we have what's known as the Grand Masters Forum.
Okay.
And that's where any member present, and this last meeting, of course, was a virtual meeting, can ask those Grand Masters questions.
Okay.
It is usually chaired by the Grand Master of the host jurisdiction.
Okay.
This year, it was chaired by the Grand Master of Missouri.
The Grand Master of Missouri chaired it this year. Okay. Now, as far as your convention goes, is it only attended again by those who are Master Masons in good standing? Is that correct?
And members of the Phylaxis Society.
And members of the Phylaxis Society. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. That's
to become a member is a $35 annual fee, which includes the quarterly publication. This is our magazine.
Okay.
I'll hold it up a little closer.
Yes, sir. I like that.
And these magazines go all the way back to 1976.
Wow.
In fact, we have compiled them all into a series of books that we sell, a comprehendum. of all the pertinent articles since 1976.
Nice.
Mhm.
That is awesome.
Now you can get that. You can get a copy of those from any member of Herbert Belshaw chapter here in North Carolina.
Okay. Now Herbert, you're headquartered where at? Where exactly are you headquartered?
You mean as the National Phylaxis?
Yes.
The National Phylaxis owns no real estate.
Okay.
Our headquarters is wherever our executive secretary is, the grand secretary.
Okay.
We own no real estate.
Gotcha.
To give you an example, the executive secretary lives in Kansas City, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
The president lives in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
The financial secretary and the treasurer, they live in New Mexico. By the way, the three of those, the president, the financial secretary, and the treasurer, are all past Grand Masters.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of knowledge in those three positions there.
So there is life after being a Grand Master.
Yes. Yeah, I see. I see. Grant, as we get closer to the end of this show and learning more and more about the Phylaxis Society, what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer you this opportunity right now to look into this camera and speak directly to the brothers who are not members of the society. And I want you to tell them why they should be members of the society and whom they can contact for more information or how they might be able to obtain application or anything they need to become members of the Phylaxis Society.
Well, in a nutshell, www.thephylaxis, no spaces, Phylaxis is spelled PHYLAXIS.org. If you go to that website, and in fact, if you would share for a moment, I can pull it up for you.
Okay.
And show you the website. If you'd like to share the screen just for a moment.
Okay.
And I'll just share mine.
Okay.
Nope, I'm disabled.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we might be able to put up a link at the end of this video. We will work on that at the end of this show so that anyone interested can obtain more information. But if there's anything that you want to just tell them as far as why they should join, I want you to take that opportunity and do that now.
Yes. If you go to that site, you can find out all there is to know about Phylaxis, about Phyllis, about our founder, Joseph Walks. And I would recommend to all Masons, all Prince Hall Masons, Black Square and Compass.
Okay.
Joseph Walks also wrote the last history book for the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of North Carolina.
Okay.
That you can obtain from the Grand Lodge.
Yes, sir.
Know what organization you belong to. Find out about the great men that led this organization through all these decades.
Yes, sir.
And then you'll understand why it still exists and why it is important to be a good steward of that which is passed down to you.
Sir.
I am one who firmly believes that Freemasonry, like so many other things, were concepts and precepts that came out of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to dig and research and find the links and find the connection that tells us truly from whence we came. And then maybe we can practice a masonry devoid of the pale image of masonry that we have from Europeans.
I understand.
And I didn't want to get a little radical on you there, David, but I got to say what's in here.
You got to say what's in your heart, Grant. Is there anything else on your heart you'd like to speak on before we move on to close this show out?
No, I just want brothers to take care of each other.
Yes, sir.
Look after each other. It's not always just physical and putting a piece of money in somebody's hand. We need mental and moral support, emotional support.
Yes, sir.
As Prince Hall Masons, we many times have sorely lacked in having a man that we can talk to. And I mean really talk to.
Right.
As opposed to talking about the music we like or how beautiful that woman is or the other woman is,
yes,
or
sir.
our cars. We need to start really talking to each other like brothers.
Right. That's right.
Because we all need that.
We need it. We need it. And the key, of course, in communication that I've learned is that when brothers are trying to help you, we shouldn't take anything personal, especially when it comes to structure or criticism. You know what I mean? We shouldn't take anything personal at all from another brother who's trying to help.
Well, if he's trying to help you can feel the love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All
that
you got
is right.
to do is open yourself to it.
That is it. Well, Grant, I want to thank you for being here and gracing us with your presence. Thank you for the information, the light that you have shared with us this evening. I want to say God bless you, to you and your family. And I want to say to all the Prince Hall folks and family out there listening, thank you for tuning in and listening to this edition of Masonic Light Talk, featuring none other than our Grand Historian Emeritus, Brother Walter Easley. And of course, at the end of this video, we're going to try and put a link on where you can kind of go over to the Phylaxis Society and our current Grand Historian, Damajo Smith, who's a past master. And he will be able to also share some things, and it may go to some things that he has shared. He shared a lot of things out here. Grant, did you have something you want to say?
Yes. If you're interested and you can't get through on the internet for whatever reason, you can contact myself or Past Master Damajo. He's currently, well, he's no longer the Grand Historian either.
No, he's a past, yeah, he's a past Grand
He's a past
Historian.
Grand Historian as well.
You know, I see so many titles, Grant, I forget about it.
He is the first vice president of the Phylaxis Society, and I am a member. I'm in my second term right now on the board of directors.
Beautiful.
So anything you'd like to know and we can be of help in any way, give us a call and we'll be more than happy to help you become a member of the Phylaxis Society.
Grant, thank you so much. Prince Hall family, you've heard it right here on this edition of Masonic Light Talk from our past Grand Historian Emeritus, Brother Walter Easley. And for those of you who are out there listening, if you are not a part of the Masonic family, remember, it's not hard to become one. In order to be one, just ask one. I'm your host, Past Master Rod Funderburk of Bivouac Lodge number 503. It has been my pleasure to share with you our past Grand Historian Emeritus, Walter Easley. And I can't wait to see everyone on the next edition of Masonic Light Talk. Until then, my brothers and sisters, please stay safe, be careful in all that you do, and please travel light.
Thank you, sir.